Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds. In this video I want to show you three different things. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the test yard, and I also want to talk to you about treating with a vaporizer into Apame colonies. And at the end of the video I want to show you how I clean the Instant Vap out. The Instant Vap is one of the newest vaporizers to the market. As you can see right here, it's battery powered. I personally have a lot of batteries for blowers for blowing bees out of supers and various other tools. So I already had some batteries available with DeWalt. They also have Milwaukee. Anyways, I'm going to leave several links below for the type of oxalic acid we use, the respirators that are safe, and also for this vaporizer right here. They're a little bit expensive, but for my operation it makes a lot of sense. Alright, one of the biggest questions I get when it comes to Apame hives is, Kamon, how do you use oxalic acid vapor? How do you use oxalic acid vapor? Well, I'm going to leave a link down below as well for a different method of this that you can purchase, but this is the cheapo method. Alright, so I've got a wooden board. Both of these boards are made from old deep boxes, old Kelly boxes from like 15 years ago that I've cut down and turned into mediums, and this shim was what was left. Now what I've done is sealed this top lid off, because right here there's ventilation built into these Apame lids. I've also closed the entrances off, but if you'll look down into here, first of all, what a gorgeous looking colony right there. But up above I have the Reflectix piece I got from Lowe's, and that is going to go and seal that off from going up through that ventilation. Those are some great looking bees right there. That's what a great queen is going to look like with plenty of feed. We have fed this yard $500 worth of syrup since July, and we fed pollen patties and great queens, dead mites, and good nutrition. So now we're doing the dead mites part, right? So this entire yard, by and large, is the experimental yard this year, and so thankfully I've got some people helping me, and these two colonies right here made it into the oxalic acid group. We've divided it into 4 classifications again, but what we're testing out in this oxalic acid group is 4 grams per deep box. So 3 deeps, that's 12 grams per hive. Now this is not something that you need to be promoting. This is illegal right now. We're also doing we've got EPA approval for Randy Oliver's oxalic acid extended release sponges, and so that kind of stuff right now is not legal to use. This is all for tests, and so we can learn more about Varroa.
So let's talk the experimental yard as we're treating this. So what are we doing this year for the test yard in the oxalic acid vapor group? First of all, these colonies have a lot of bees, a lot of brood. That means it's going to be very difficult for us to control a high percentage of mites. Oxalic acid is a gentle treatment. It does not kill for days and days on end. A lot of people will say it will. It does not. We've tested this a lot for our own personal reasons in our operation, and there's been a lot of research showing that as well. It's still a good product, but we have to know its limitations and understand what it will and will not do. Real quick, I'm pointing out that since I don't have anything going around that bottom rim of that inserted board, it's leaking out the seams a little bit. Most of the oxalic acid is staying in, but all of my hives, especially my wooden ones, leak to a degree. There's no way to retain all of the oxalic acid without a crazy amount of work, and this is normal. Maybe this is one of the reasons why we should use a higher dose of oxalic acid. So getting back to the details of the test yard, the capped brood is where the lion's share of the mites are. So we have to focus on that. Brood is only capped for about 12 and a half, 13 days. So this is 5 rounds in 14 days to concentrate on that period when the mites are coming out, hammer them. And we're using a high dose, again, of 4 grams per deep chamber. That's quite a bit. My hope is that we'll get a high percentage of kill. We have already done 2 alcohol washes per colony, one June 4th and one in early August in the first week. So second week, excuse me. One thing I almost failed to mention, the hole for that rim is 1/4 of an inch. So now that we have treated this colony pretty quickly considering the dosage, let's get to cleaning the vaporizer. Now we're to the point where we're done treating and we're ready to clean the vaporizer out. It's always good when you have a nice tool to put it up clean, ready for the next use. However, there's a couple things you have to watch out for. First of all, you don't need to use a ton of water. I don't use any detergents or anything like that. Definitely want to make sure you don't get any of the electronics wet or anything like that. However, it did sprinkle on us a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is get it down to about 80 degrees Celsius. It doesn't need to be much hotter than that, or it can really splash, and if there's a little bit of oxalic acid residue in there, and there will be, that could splash up and get you in the eye. So it may be best to use some safety glasses, but 80 degrees Celsius is a good temperature. The battery is not engaged heating it up, it's just there to give me a readout. So now that we are where we want to be, we will yank the battery out. Always make sure that it's turned off before you yank it out. It's easier on the electronics. And now we can clean it out with just a little bit of water. So you don't want to just pour tons and tons of water through this thing. I like to tilt it forward and just run some out of the barrel and pour a little bit in there and just kind of swish it around a little bit. Probably do that a couple more times, then basically I'm done with that side of it. There's a few more things. So that's pretty good. One thing I'm going to want to invest in the future, I don't see any reason to have it. This thing has done really good. It's not getting clogged up even once. However, I think I'm going to see if I can find a copper, a little bit of a tool to ream that out, just to be on the safe side. And again, I love this brass barrel. It's so heavy duty. It gets very hot to the tip, which is important to making sure all the oxalic acid leaves the barrel and does not start building up right there at the tip of it. So, all right. Now, what about the rest of the unit? We have this right here, which definitely needs some cleaning. It's very easy. We can just drop it in there, swish it around. You can put this part in the sink, all that stuff. The nice thing is all this is like stainless steel, and you don't have to worry about any of it rusting on you. So that got most of the oxalic acid. And usually at the end of it, I have this magic eraser. I use these for everything, and inside the house, beekeeping stuff, and it's great. So it just takes off any residue and just gets it real nice. Just smooths it on down. So I usually run this on through, and we didn't use this vaporizer very much. I think I only ran 24 grams through it. So when we run like 100 grams through it, there's a lot more buildup. But it's pretty simple, pretty easy. Now the rest of the unit, definitely, again, don't want to get anything back in here. I just take a damp cloth and very little water content, wipe that off a little bit, and if there's any little bit of residue, that's where this magic eraser comes in. Does a great job of getting rid of things without marring your vaporizer. I'm going to leave a link for these down below. I really love these. They're great inside the house too. Laurel says they are, so they have to be, but no, they really are that great. And it's just getting all the little things out of there very easily and very fast, and making it nice and sharp looking again. So very easy to clean out. Don't be just pouring tons and tons of water. Now, last but not least, I highly recommend that when you're done, first of all, definitely put some oil up here. I just use like vegetable oil, olive oil, something like that on this rubber gasket, O-ring, whatever you want to call it, and that makes it so much easier to use next time. Push it in, push it out. I mean, it's 10 times easier, and that O-ring is going to last so much longer. And then lastly, what you want to do is you want to put the battery back in, and you want to heat it back up. And I usually let it heat up almost all the way, just to make sure all of the water is heated up and out of the unit, just in case
there's some sitting anywhere, and I don't want to store it with water in it long term. So this will take probably another minute or so to heat up to where it needs to be, and the vaporizer is clean and ready for the next use. Very simple, very fast and easy to use, and highly portable. So I'm going to leave tons of links down below, and if you need them, you can check them out, and thanks for watching this video.